Hello from California. Thank you for joining me today to talk about the three S's. Before we begin, I need to share with you a little disclaimer, letting you know, reminding you maybe, that I am not a doctor or a therapist. What I am going to share with you is simply based upon my experiences that I've been honored to share with others in hopes of leading you to a life of higher wellness, purpose, and abundance. I am not here to diagnose, treat, or cure anyone or anything. So let me briefly introduce myself and then share with you my young living journey to today. My name is Estacio. I live in Northern California with my husband, Troy, of 32 years. We have two adult children. Our son is 29 years old, and he and his bride live in Maryland. They are both aerospace engineers. Our daughter, almost 27, in September, she'll be 27, and she is a newly hooded doctor of clinical psychology. She also lives in Maryland. Over 9 years ago, I was sleep deprived and stressed out. My husband sounds like a locomotive when he sleeps, and believe me, this guy can sleep anywhere. He's very, very lucky. And this led me to sleeping well about every third night when I was just to the point of complete exhaustion. I saw my friend Stacy post about how she wasn't snoring anymore, so her husband was able to sleep. So I reached out to her and asked what her solution was because I was in desperate need. She sent me a sample of Valor, and told me to apply it a drop to the bottoms of each of his big toes at bedtime. I thought, before I understood more of this essential oil world, I thought she was crazy, but I knew I didn't have anything to lose and I was desperate. So I did what she said. It worked. I slept. And that, in my opinion, could be the end of my story right there. I slept. Those words in 2014 and now are the most beautiful words to be able to say. So we're going to start by talking about sleep out of the three S's, since that's such a pivotal part of my story. Once I began sharing with my friends and family about Young Living products, like I said, a little over 9 years ago, there were three issues that came up time after time. Probably about 95% of the people that I have spoken with over these 9 years have mentioned issues or concerns with sleep, stress, and or sadness. Can you relate? If you think about it, those three issues can be very interrelated, one prompting or augmenting the other. It can become a vicious cycle, and if we don't deal with it early on, any of them can lead to more issues. A 2013 Gallup poll indicates that 40% of Americans got less than the recommended amount of sleep. In 2022, it was at 35% of the US population getting less than the recommended 7 hours of sleep each night. So maybe we're getting a little bit better. Maybe more people have found Young Living. Sleep can be elusive for many people for a wide range of reasons. I've already told you mine, and Valor really is and continues to be a key for us. In fact, last week we were on vacation, my husband and I diffused Valor at night. My husband, who usually wakes up at the crack of dawn, regardless of where we are and how tired he is, slept for 11 hours that first night. We were in a different time zone, so even with that being a change, he slept for 11 hours. I actually woke up before him, and that never happens. Finding your own personal sleep potion takes time, consistency, and trial and error. Valor is a great one for many snorers, as I've mentioned. My husband and I both sleep better when he purrs rather than kind of chug-a-chug chugs along with his snoring. Peace and Calming, Lavender, Tranquil, Rutavala. Kids Sense Sleepy Eyes. Kids Sense line is not just for little kiddos, it's for big kiddos like me as well. Vetiver and Dreamcatcher are all super helpful with sleep. There are so many Young Living essential oils that can help you catch some Z's by diffusing and applying topically. Some of them make sense based upon their names, like I just mentioned, Peace and Calming and Dreamcatcher. But some may surprise you, like Citrus Fresh and Roman Chamomile. I always recommend people start low and slow. So in your bedside diffuser, I suggest starting with, fill it with the amount of water that's needed, and then add 3 to 4 drops of whatever essential oil blend, single or combination that you're going to be using that night, and be consistent. It's not going to be most likely the first thing that you try is going to be the first thing that works. Okay, so be consistent, start low and slow, increase those number of drops after a couple of nights if you feel like it's needed. Topically, applying them to the bottoms of your big toes gives you a direct line to that area in your brain where you produce melatonin, and that's what helps us to get to sleep anyways. So oil up those big toes with a drop or two at bedtime. You can also apply it to the collarbones, and the back of the neck at the base of the skull are also great locations to bring on some Z's with a drop or two of a sleepy time essential oil. We also have some great supplements that help with sleep, such as ImmuPro. So if I simply just can't fall asleep, I will chew 1/2 to 1 of these tablets here, where you can see it. Usually doesn't take a whole one for me. I'm usually a half, and it knocks me out. If I chew a full one, it really knocks me out. Like into the morning, I kind of have a hard time getting going in the morning. It's very, very effective. We also have Sleep Essence, and that's helpful to a lot of people. This supplement is your bad dreams' worst nightmare. One little capsule combines 4 powerful essential oils known for their sleep-enhancing properties, along with naturally occurring melatonin, that's important, naturally occurring, to help you enjoy a restful night's sleep. So, taking 1 to 2 soft gels about 30 to 60 minutes before heading off to bed, you'll be sawing logs in no time. But again, start low and slow. So if you're going to try Sleep Essence, start with 1, please. Don't just say, well, Anne said. Low and slow, and build and see what your body responds to. Of course, there are a lot of things outside of Young Living products that may help you sleep as well, such as turning off all screens at least an hour before you lay down. Make sure you don't have any side lights on, such as a bright clock or a phone lit up nearby. And pay attention to what and when you eat your last nibble of the day. Maybe you haven't thought about this, but your body needs to process whatever you put into it. So give it a chance to do so before you lay down to sleep. Otherwise, you've got more processing going on inside your intestines and stomach and whatnot. That's going to keep you awake. Journaling, taking a bath, except for when it's 106 degrees outside in Northern California, and Texas is even hotter, I think. Some quiet gratitude reflection. All of those things that are great ways to wind down your day to sweet slumber. Okay, I said we're going to move fast. We're moving on to S number 2 now, and that is stress. So I actually have a couple of people in my life who say they do not get stressed. Can you imagine that? I mean, good for you, but really? I am not here to judge your stress or your no stress level, but if you say you have no stress and that's true, I am going to be a little bit jealous. 8 out of 10 Americans say they frequently or sometimes are stressed in their daily lives. And that's from a 2017 and 2021 Gallup poll. Only about 4% of people say that they never felt stressed. Must be nice, right? So stress, as you likely already know, can stem from a myriad of sources: relationships, jobs, money, money's a big one, health, and news. News of the world or just your immediate life type of news can cause stress. It can be real or perceived, but it is the individual's own stress. So, in my opinion, and I'm the one talking here, so I get to share my opinions with you, it's not right to compare another stress level to your own or vice versa. To each his own. I hope that that makes sense. That comparison game is the thief of joy, and it is a slippery, slippery slope. So I believe the first thing to do with dealing with stress is to recognize it, name it. It takes away some of the power of whatever that stressor is. And once you've recognized it and called your stress out, you're better able to manage it. Trust me on that. So, how can Young Living help you in regards to stress? I'm so glad you asked. Aim for those 7 to 9 hours of sleep. And I know, depending on where you are at in your life, that may sound like a dream, but just try. Just aim for that. And then don't get stressed if you don't attain that. Okay. Just that's a goal. Okay. Use those sleeping tools that we talked about a moment ago to break up the lack of stress sleep cycle. Essential oils such as Stress Away, Valor. Yes, Valor is huge for me for so many issues in life. Sacred Mountain, Peace and Calming. Those are all great to kind of bring down our stress level. I saw a video a few years ago of a little, she was probably about 3 years old, a little toddler, and she was having a temper tantrum. Whatever happened, she had had it with the day. So her mom took her Peace and Calming and she put a drop on her finger. See if I can get just one drop here. That's hard to do. Okay. And it ran around my finger. And she applied it to her toddler's neck. So behind her ear and down her neck, kind of along her carotid artery, lymph node area, right in here. And that toddler ramped up to give another little scream. She took a heavy sigh and then just looked so much more relaxed and in control. You know, our emotions can spiral out of control. And that just brought her down to where she was able to manage whatever was going on at that moment. Now, I'm not talking about burying our stress or, masking it by something and shoving it in the closet. I believe that it's important that we face those things that trip us up and cause us to live less than optimally. Many times our stressors can be managed by calling them out and naming them, like I said. So talking to a therapist can be super, super helpful. And here's a huge one for you, and it may be something that maybe you haven't thought of before. Forgiving the person that you feel has caused you stress or is currently causing you stress. I've always told my kids, there's a couple of different kind of mantras that I've told my kids their whole lives. And this is one of them that I'm going to share with you. I don't know where I heard it, but it was years ago. When you hold a grudge against someone, it's like giving them free rent in your brain. So think about that for a moment. Who wants to give away that kind of power? Not me. As far as Young Living supplements go, I'll let you just stew on that for a bit. As far as Young Living supplements go, check your gut. Yes, I mean your intuition, but also your digestive tract health. When our tummy and intestines are not in an ideal state, it's amazing how many other bodily functions and processes that can be adversely affected. So taking some enzymes really helps my husband and I. But which ones? Young Living has 4 different kinds of enzymes. We have essential zymes 4, detoxzyme, and allerzyme. And each of these products contains a different set or combination of enzymes that work with a different kind of food that we may be eating. So all of that detail and information is too much. We don't have time for it in our chat today, but something for you to look into. But I'm going to just tell you quickly what my husband and I do. So every morning and at bedtime, we take an Essential Zymes tablet. It's kind of a big tablet that you just swallow. And then my husband has celiac disease, so he cannot process gluten. So he carries Essential Zymes 4 with him everywhere. So if he thinks he may get gluten or he knows he has gotten gluten, then he will consume a set, 2, 3, maybe 4 sets of the capsules that come in Essential Zymes to help kind of kick that out of his body faster than it normally would work through. Unfortunately, my husband's reaction to gluten now is more brain related, personality really changes than it is digestive. And these Essential Zymes 4 really, really, really helps to alleviate that issue if, heaven forbid, he get gluten. Bottom line is we try to avoid gluten. Also, Digize, it's an essential oil blend with Young Living, is super helpful for helping our guts and therefore ourselves to be more at peace, relaxed, and able to manage our stressors that we may face on any given day or moment. And of course, as we all should be doing, up your antioxidants. Ningxia Red, 2 ounces at least a day, does wonders for our overall well-being on every level of wellness, including our brain space. Okay, we're going to move on to the final S, and that is sadness. It is not the least important. Please do not misinterpret me having sadness as the last S as being unimportant. It's not. It's extremely important. Depending upon the individual, the sadness may be triggered by a lack of sleep or those stressors or vice versa. And it can truly be a vicious cycle of one triggering the other over and over. So take a good look at all that's going on with you and in you today and always. Okay, that's that cycle again. Sadness can come in varying degrees from being wistful to depression and beyond. Talking to someone, professional or a trusted friend, is very, very important. And just like stress, talking to someone can be of great benefit for your mental health. Please do not wait or brush aside another sadness as being typical of them or just who they are. If someone needs to talk things through, please stop and listen. And if you can't, for whatever reason, help them to find somebody who can. They don't necessarily or even usually want you to fix whatever's going on for them. They simply need someone to stop and listen. As far as Young Living and sadness goes, diffusing anything citrus, such as orange or citrus fresh, is incredibly uplifting. When we breathe in the scent of a pure essential oil, which is what Young Living is, it has a direct effect on our emotions. Our sense of smell is the only one of our 5 senses directly connected to the emotional center of our brain. This gives us the power to kind of retrain our brains to focus our thoughts on the positive, to release those negative emotions that have been stored there and that hold us back from reaching our full potential. So Gary Young had developed something he called the Great Day Protocol. It uses 4 very specific oils in a certain order to support our emotions, to promote feelings of harmony and joy, and to guard against any negativity that can disturb our thoughts and our emotions and send them kind of into a tailspin. So I'm going to share my screen now so you can see the slides for each of these. And I want to move my talking box there. And not on the first one. Okay, so the first one, you probably could have guessed that it's valor because all things valor are fabulous. Valor promotes a feeling of courage and self-esteem and helps to balance our body. Using this each morning, the first one in this protocol, place a drop in your hand, rub your hands together, the palms of your hands, cup your hands over your nose and your mouth and breathe in deeply. The next one is harmony. Harmony helps to create a positive attitude, reduce stress, and repel feelings of discord and chaos, those negative feelings. Apply this just below your sternum and above your belly button, kind of over your center abdomen, really. And just breathe it in. Joy is the next one, inspiring, calm and uplifting mood with its aroma. And joy is one that was my husband's first oil, Young Living oil, essential oil love, which is unusual for a man because it's quite floral. But we would apply it as it directs here over your heart. We would put a drop on his chest every morning. And the reason is because he said it just made his day brighter. We should get back to doing that. I need to get some more joy. I am out. And the last one in this protocol is white angelica. Now, white angelica is a super potent essential oil, my friends. All of these are potent. But white angelica, please, the first time, especially that you use it, please only use 1 drop as much as you can. It's powerful. It can create deeper feelings of security and protection by offsetting kind of the negative chaos that can be about us. It creates kind of an imaginary shield for us. So place that single drop in your hand, rub your palms together, cup your nose and mouth, and breathe it in deeply. And then I'm going to stop my share here so you can see me. So this is white angelica, this beautiful blue label. Put a drop in your hand, rub your hands together, cup your hands over your nose and your mouth and breathe in deeply. And then what I do is I put it on the top of my head, and then I kind of cross my hands and rub it down my arms like I'm brushing away the negativity. And I've even done it down my entire body, just kind of sending away the negative, just getting rid of it for the day. And that is Gary Young's Great Day Protocol with those 4 oils. So I hope that gives you an idea of something that can help you to kind of tackle your day that may be ahead of you. I have another combination that I'd like to share with you. I am going to go back to share my screen for this one slide. We're going to call this Serene Roll-On. And I'll show you what I use as far as the bottle, but you can see the recipe here. It's 50 drops of lavender, 35 drops of stress away, 30 drops of valor, 15 drops of patchouli, 15 drops of vetiver. I do not put the 15 drops of cedarwood in it and then top it off with a carrier oil. Okay, so in a roll-on, I would recommend that you roll it across your collarbones and your inner wrists during the day, on those bottoms of those big toes at night. And if you want it to help with sleep. So this serene recipe can really help with all three S's. It's excellent to promote sleep. It can help to kind of calm down the emotions and stress, and to balance out the maybe some sadness. Now, you can also use this combination in your diffuser at night if you would like to, but don't put the carrier oil in it. You don't want to put a carrier oil in your diffuser. So the way I make ours is I repurpose. I usually use an empty 15 milliliter roller bottle, or excuse me, lavender essential oil bottle, because it's big enough, first of all. And it has 50 drops of lavender in that serene recipe. So, you know, any residual that's hanging around on the bottle, you know, it's not going to waste, right? It's not just sitting there. And so you could, if you add the carrier oil to this, you could pop a roller fitment on the top of this, or if you don't put the carrier oil in it, you could give it a little swirl and put some drops in your diffuser at night to help with those S's. So Young Living has a number of other essential oils that I haven't yet mentioned that can assist us with our moods, such as grounding, trauma life, release, SARA, and SARA is an acronym, so it's SARA, hope, acceptance. Any of the tree oils are excellent for grounding, such as Idaho Grand Fir, Sacred Frankincense, and Three Wise Men, and there are more. So I'm curious if there's one that you would like to explore to find the connections that your body craves for a brighter today and tomorrow. I hope that our chat here today on the three S's has given you some place to start on your wellness journey over these three S areas, or maybe something new for you to try to gain back power over any of those areas in your life. Thank you for tuning in with me today. And like I said, I certainly hope that it helps you. Happy oiling.